On this channel, I shared real stories of ordinary people. People who went through difficult moments and slowly found the strength to rebuild themselves.
This was one of those stories. I never thought the person who made me feel the most unsafe would be someone my family trusted the most. My own uncle. I was 17 at that time. And until then, my world felt normal. School, friends, small dreams, and a home that felt safe. At least, I thought it was. My uncle used to visit often. Everyone liked him. He was funny, helpful, always smiling. The kind of person no one questioned. And that's exactly why I never said anything at first. It started small, uncomfortable comments, jokes that didn't feel like jokes. I remember feeling weird, but I couldn't explain why. I told myself I was overthinking, that I was being too sensitive. But then it didn't stop. It became more frequent, more personal, more uncomfortable. There were moments where I felt frozen. I didn't react. I didn't speak. I just stood there, hoping it would end quickly. And every time it happened, I felt the same thing. Confusion, fear, and guilt. The guilt was the worst part, because I kept asking myself, why didn't I say anything? Why didn't I stop it? But the truth is, I didn't know how. He was family, someone everyone respected. If I spoke, would anyone believe me? Or would they think I misunderstood? So I stayed quiet. That was the rising action. Not dramatic, not loud, just silent discomfort. Growing every day. I started avoiding him, staying in my room when he visited, finding excuses to leave. But you can't always escape someone who's inside your own home. And slowly, it started affecting everything. I couldn't focus on studies. I felt anxious for no reason. I became quiet, distant. My younger brother noticed first. Why are you always in your room? I didn't answer, because I didn't know how to. Then my mother noticed. You don't talk like before. I just said I was tired. I was hiding it from everyone, but I couldn't hide it from myself. The real conflict came one evening. He visited again. And this time, I felt something different. Not just fear, anger. I remember standing there, and for the first time, I didn't feel small, I felt done. But even then, I didn't speak. I walked away, locked myself in my room, and cried. That night, everything changed, because I realized something important. If I stayed silent, this wouldn't stop, and that scared me more than speaking up. The next day, I decided to tell someone. Not everyone, just one person. My best friend, Harra. I was shaking when I told her. My voice wasn't steady. I kept stopping in between. But she listened, without interrupting. And when I finished, she didn't say anything for a few seconds. Then she said, "This is not your fault." That sentence broke something inside me, because for so long, I had blamed myself. That was my first comeback. Not speaking publicly, not confronting him, just telling the truth to someone. And it gave me strength. The second conflict came soon after. Harra told me something I didn't want to hear. You need to tell your parents. I panicked. No, I can't. I imagined everything going wrong. What if they didn't believe me? What if the family broke apart? What if they blamed me? Fear came back, stronger than before. For a moment, I wanted to go back to silence. It felt easier, safer. But then I thought about something. If this continued, I wouldn't just lose my peace. I would lose myself. So I made the hardest decision of my life. I told my mother. It wasn't dramatic. I didn't plan it. I just said it. Slowly. Carefully. At first, she didn't react. She just listened. And that silence felt terrifying. But then, her expression changed. Not anger, not disbelief, pain. She hugged me, tightly, and said, "You should have told me earlier." That moment was my second comeback, not because everything was fixed, but because I was no longer alone. What happened after that wasn't easy. There were difficult conversations, tension in the family. Things changed. But one thing was clear. I was safe. And that mattered more than anything else. The rising action after that was slow. Healing didn't happen overnight. I still had moments of fear, moments of doubt. But now I had support. I started talking more, opening up, understanding what I went through. I learned something important. Silence protects the wrong person, not you. And the moment you speak, you take your power back. Months later, I looked back at that version of myself, the 17-year-old girl who stayed quiet, who felt guilty, who thought she was alone. And I didn't feel weak. I felt proud, because even though it took time, she found the courage to speak. That was the payoff. Not revenge, not drama, peace, strength, and self-respect. If I had to say what helped me the most, it came down to 3 things. First, I stopped blaming myself, because what happened was never my fault. Second, I spoke to someone I trusted, because you don't have to carry everything alone. And third, I chose courage over comfort, because staying silent felt easier, but it was destroying me. Today, I'm stronger, not because I never felt fear, but because I faced it. And if you're going through something similar, I want you to understand this. You are not weak. You are not wrong. And you are not alone. There is always someone who will listen, someone who will believe you. You just have to take that first step, because sometimes the bravest thing you can do is speak, and that one step can change everything.